Basketball fans, it is time for your favorite half hour of power. This is the Hangout, and I am Akil Augustine, and now it's time for us to introduce today's guests on our show. Producer of the Toronto Raptors broadcast, also producer of the Toronto FC broadcast, and a supporter of the Toronto Marlies as they continue their push through the playoffs. That's Dan Glavin.
Go Marlies, good to be back on the Akil show.
I like that. We're going to change the name. Of course, this is Devo Brown, a good friend of mine and a member of the union. Thank you for coming out, Kiss 92 Zone.
Thank you.
And I got to say this about this man right here. He's coached, 6 potential lottery picks this year, 15 potential first-round draft picks. I'm very proud to say he's a close personal friend of mine. Eastern Commerce, stand up.
Happy to be here.
Okay, let's get into it. We were all kind of disappointed with what happened on the court, but let's get into it. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs, the two best teams in the Western Conference, matching up, and I'm questioning whether these are the two best teams because there is such a huge gap we're seeing between what the Spurs can do and what the Thunder can do. Roy, we'll start with you. Do you see the Thunder, or can the Thunder take a game from this well-oiled machine that is the San Antonio Monster?
I think they can take a game, but I'm not sure they can take much more than that. I mean, maybe San Antonio decides to take a rest and get ready for the final, but OKC is kind of lucky to be here. You know, that Memphis series, Randolph getting suspended, impacted that series, and they're kind of doing it on fumes, and I think they're kind of being exposed right now. They're wearing down, so I don't see them getting more than the game.
Devo, Serge Ibaka, if he was playing, would he have changed anything that we're seeing happening right now?
Right now it's 5-on-2. At least it would have been 5-on-3.
5-on-2.5.
Derek Fisher can be the half, I guess, right now. But no, man, no, sweep. Get out the brooms right now. It's, you know, the energy in OKC when they get back home, maybe one game, as Roy was saying, but I'm thinking sweep, dude.
Okay, now here's how I look at, the greats. And if Kevin Durant's the MVP, you can only give the answers to what's asked of you. Right now, more is being asked of Kevin Durant than ever before in his career. Dan, is there another level that Kevin Durant can bring his group to, a la the Kobe's and the Michael Jordans and the LeBron Jameses?
Not this group.
Not this group.
Durant had an amazing year individually. He's been awesome in the playoffs. But this series isn't even about Oklahoma City. This is about the Spurs. I think you used the term well-oiled machine. I'm ready to use the term one of the best teams ever.
Nobody knew you would say that.
They are unbelievable. They are a machine, and they are remembering not only what happened last year, losing to Miami, but what happened 2 years ago, winning the first 2 games against Oklahoma City and then losing 4 straight and being knocked out of the playoffs. So to me, this series is completely about San Antonio. I don't think they can be beaten, and I don't think there's anything Kevin Durant can do right now.
Or Scott Brooks, for that matter. But here's what I want to talk about quickly. Are you guys excited for this matchup then, potentially, if the Miami Heat make it out of the East? The Spurs are playing better than they ever did last year. So are you guys kind of excited for this Miami Heat series to kind of relive itself again and maybe the Spurs take it there?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But, you know, I mean, we're making a lot of proclamations that are way too early. You know, they're one injury
away.
That's
what I do.
One injury away from changing both teams. I mean, lots of things can happen. There's still much basketball to be played just in the conference finals. I think there's going to be some twists and turns along the way. And San Antonio, although they're having a historic season, has got a long way to go still.
But I think that San Antonio's kind of in a good position, Devo, because, I mean, even if you take one guy out, Tony Parker's not as healthy as this group. I'm looking at this entire group and saying that is probably one of the better teams I've ever seen play basketball.
It's one of the best coach teams in the history of sports, I think. Like, Pop is one of the best coaches ever. But, yeah, one injury away. Parker goes down, that's a whole different ballgame then, right? I mean, you got guys like Kawhi Leonard. Dan was saying this before, that he hasn't really stepped up yet. Danny Green's getting into his own now, hitting 7 threes last night, and that is scary, right? So I don't think they beat Miami if they meet them in the finals, though.
Coach, I want to get out on this one, of course. We're going to wrap this block up, but, I mean, you're a coach, good coach, too. I respect you as a coach.
Thank you.
Looking at Scott Brooks when you're home and seeing what he's doing with this group, are you impressed by what he's done? Disappointed? Do you think that there's some blame that falls on him? Because a lot of people are talking about Scott Brooks now.
Well, in the end, yes. I mean, he's ultimately responsible for you know, the way his team performs, whether that's fair or not. The reality is there's been a culture set in OKC over the past, 5 seasons.
And what is that culture? Shoot whatever you want?
Well, I mean, it's been a player's environment, right? Durant's been able to have the freedom offensively. Westbrook's had freedom offensively. It's hard to all of a sudden instill a disciplined system when you've been playing that way for so long. You got to roll the dice. You got to see where it goes, and maybe that's where losing Harden has really hurt them Kendrick. They have a lot of guys who really are non-scorers, right?
Listen, we know we got to wrap the segment up when we start talking about Kendrick Perkins. Yes. Listen, still more to come on the Hangout. We got to break down all your favorite topics. We still have to talk about them boys, the Miami Heat, as they do battle with the Indiana Pacers. And how did the Cavs get the #1 pick again? Still more to come. Heat Pacers next up when we return on the Hangout.